Good afternoon, and welcome to the 1991 Excellence in Broadcasting Awards. The Excellence in Broadcasting Awards is sponsored by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association to recognize outstanding achievement by Wisconsin radio and television broadcasters. The competition was established to encourage the highest standards of reporting, community service, and production creativity. It brings the ultimate prize, peer recognition, to members of the broadcast industry in Wisconsin. We also wish to take this opportunity to thank the Miller Brewing Company for making this afternoon's program possible. In our first category, Spot News, Major Market Radio, no merit awards were given. The Best of 1991 award goes to WTMJ AM Milwaukee for Norman Building Fire. Kevin Fisher, Frank Richardson, and John Boss, reporters.
It started at about 10:30 this morning and within 25 minutes had gone to the equivalent of a 7-alarm fire. The 5-story brick building at 7th and Wisconsin is a burned-out shell at this hour. At least 8 people had to be rescued by firefighters. The rescue efforts were hampered when the smoke, flames, and heat drove firefighters out of the building. Milwaukee Fire Chief August Erdman says some people remain unaccounted for.
We have occupants that are not accounted for. I don't know how many. I have no idea. That's something we're working on. We've set up at 7th and Wells for the residents, and we're trying to check out how many occupants are not accounted for at this time.
Due to the massive amount of water poured on the building and other debris, Erdman says it'll be some time before the firefighters and police can get through all the floors to search for victims. 1 person is confirmed dead, and 3 others remain missing at this hour. The Norman building at 7th and Wisconsin is said to be all but destroyed. Many residents of the Norman building say it is a miracle they escaped with their lives.
In Spot News Medium Market Radio, a merit award goes to WOMT AM Manitowoc for Kelvinator Fire. A merit award also goes to WFHR AM Wisconsin Rapids for Bingo Hall Takeover. And the Best of 1991 Spot News Medium Market Radio, WAYY AM Eau Claire for Uniroyal Closing by the WAYY News Team, Keith Edwards, News Director.
On January 7th, 1991, WAYY expanded its long tradition of a strong commitment to local news by changing from its music format to news talk radio. The very next day, the biggest news to ever hit this area occurred. Our largest private employer, Uniroyal Goodrich, was closing its plant here. 1,300 jobs would be lost. And WAYY had the story first.
And open Saturdays. 21 minutes after 11 o'clock, we're going to put Rush Limbaugh on hold right now because there is a local news story that demands attention. And from the News Center, here's Keith Edwards.
Thank you. Way News has just learned that Uniroyal plans to permanently close their Eau Claire tire-making plant. Uniroyal Goodrich told us this morning that their plans call for radial tire production to be shut down by July of this year. That will affect 500 to 600 employees, or about half of Uniroyal's total workforce.
In Spot News Small Market Radio, a merit award goes to WFAW AM Fort Atkinson for Carlton Hotel Fire, Loss of a Landmark. And the Best of 1991 Spot News Small Market Radio goes to WRLO FM Antigo for A Supreme Decision. Jim Grieve, reporter.
We're getting a new school.
That's Antigo Unified School District Administrator Joe Saveda moments after learning the state Supreme Court upheld the board's right to build a new high school. Mired in 4 decades of controversy, 9 referenda overall, over an aging and increasingly small high school, the district got the green light yesterday from the High Court to proceed. On the table is a lease purchase agreement for a new facility, a plan that does not include seeking voter approval for the project. And bypassing the voters was the basis of the court challenge by former board members Jim Tatro and Bill Deek. School Board President Mike Hunter.
And it seems like every time we get a new program or curriculum, whatever, the problem we run into is space. Where do we put it? You know, do we try to stick it in another closet or whatever? Now we will have the rooms this building will be designed for education of the 90s and beyond, and I think that's very important.
In Spot News, Major Market TV, a Merit Award goes to WTMJ TV Milwaukee for Dahmer, The First 12 Hours. And the Best of 1991 Spot News story, Major Market TV, goes to WISN TV Milwaukee for coverage of Jeffrey Dahmer by the Channel 12 News team, Fred D'Ambrosi, News Director.
Today, the details are well known, but in the early morning of July 23, 1991, the story was just beginning to unfold.
This is Channel 12 First News.
Our officers were summoned here by a person who felt something was wrong in the building.
Something is very wrong in this apartment building at 25th and Kilbourne in Milwaukee. Police believe they may have a mass murder on their hands. Good morning, Dan Pope. We'll be here with the weather in a moment. But first, we have the latest on a story that's still developing at this hour. A horrifying discovery in an apartment near 25th and Kilbourne early this morning. The remains of at least 6 human bodies. Police have a suspect in custody. Dennis Dean has been covering the story since it first broke. He joins us now from the scene. Dennis, what can you tell us?
Dave, police are still at the scene here working on this investigation, although it has quieted down a little bit compared to what it was just an hour ago.
In Spot News, Medium Market TV, a Merit Award goes to WEAU TV Eau Claire for Uniroyal Closes. And the Best of 1991 Spot News story, Medium Market TV, WXOW TV La Crosse for Coon Creek Riot. Susan Jones and Scott Hackworth, producers.
This was the scene early Sunday morning in downtown La Crosse as hundreds of people rioted in the streets.
Tonight, we'll devote a major portion of our newscast to the riot, and we'll try to answer some of the questions many people are asking. Good evening, everyone. I'm Susan Jones.
And I'm Scott Hackworth. We begin our special edition of the 6 p.m. report with a look back at the riot itself.
It started very early Sunday morning, about 2:30 in the morning, just 7 hours after the Coon Creek canoe races ended in Coon Valley. Many of the people at the races moved their party to downtown La Crosse, and once the bars closed, they moved the party into the streets. That's when police moved in with riot gear and tried to keep the crowd in check. But despite their best efforts, the crowd turned ugly, overturning and setting fire to an unmarked police car. Before the night was over, police had arrested nearly 70 people, and a number of downtown businesses were damaged.
In our second category, Hard News Story, Major Market Radio, no Merit Awards were given. And the Best of 1991 Hard News, Major Market Radio, WTMJ AM Milwaukee for Serial Killer Jeffrey Dahmer by the WTMJ News team, Kevin Fisher, Managing Editor.
In the early morning hours of July 23rd, a man escaped from an apartment building on Milwaukee's west side and flagged down police. He directed the officers to the apartment where police made a grisly discovery: human body parts found in the apartment of Jeffrey Dahmer. The story sent shockwaves throughout Milwaukee and the entire nation. Dahmer would be charged with 17 murders, not all of them committed in Milwaukee. We provided the most comprehensive coverage of the Dahmer case, beginning that early morning of July 23rd. We were the first station to have the story, beating the competition by hours. Our compilation of our continuing coverage begins with those first reports from the early morning hours of July 23rd.
Just before midnight, a Milwaukee police squad car was flagged down by a man wearing handcuffs. He told them he'd been arguing with another man in an apartment near 25th and Kilbourne. When police went to that apartment, a 31-year-old man let them in, and they made a shocking discovery: human body parts, as well as a suspicious barrel of acid.
In Hard News Medium Market Radio, a Merit Award goes to WHBY AM Appleton for Return of the 395th. A Merit Award also goes to WAXX FM Eau Claire for Homefront, the Persian Gulf. And the Best of 1991 Hard News Medium Market Radio, WHBY AM Appleton for Fox City's reaction to the Gulf War. Ray Waiter, reporter.
Good afternoon. Ray Waiter, WHBY News. While American and Allied forces are fighting the Persian Gulf, Americans back home are waging a verbal war. Although the war was predicted, the impact didn't lessen the mental response from those who oppose U.S. involvement in the Persian Gulf. Within hours after the first assault was made on Iraq, more than 24 people marched in the Appleton office of Congressman Toby Roth.
We have been against any possible conflict in the Middle East, and we're scared to death now that the war has started.
I think that this is a war over money in the form of oil, and I think that there are things that are a lot more important than oil, and those things are human lives.
The sanctions should have been let to work longer, and that this is the wrong approach to the solution of this problem.
And I think we need to take some immediate action to stop this mindless slaughter.
In hard news, small market radio, a Merit Award goes to WLSU-FM La Crosse for La Crosse area reacts to Persian Gulf War. A Merit Award also goes to WTOQ-AM Platteville for ongoing coverage of Grant County murder trial. And the best of 1991, hard news, small market radio, WERL-AM Eagle River for treaty protest. John Burton, reporter.
About 250 treaty opponents were on hand as Chippewa launched their boats to begin spearfishing last night. Stop Treaty Abuse Wisconsin President Dean Criss said he was happy with the turnout.
The question that keeps coming to mind is, when is enough? When can we get some reaction from Madison? You know, if they gave us a figure, if they said, gee, if you turn out 3,000 people or 30,000 people, I clearly think northern Wisconsin would do it just to get a commitment from Madison to appeal the Voight case.
A small contingent of the witness organization arrived about an hour after boats were launched, drawing chants and jeers from the crowd. A black member of the witnesses named James was the target of some of the crowd's comments.
And they proved that they're racist tonight. And all this equal rights nonsense has been nothing but a PR campaign. And I'm sick of it.
A contingent of 150 members of the witness organization and the American Indian movement arrived later, leading to a shouting match and some shoving.
In hard news, major market TV, a Merit Award goes to WTMJ-TV Milwaukee for River Rescue. A Merit Award also goes to WBAY-TV Green Bay for Fox Valley Hospital. And the best of 1991, hard news story, major market TV, WISN-TV Milwaukee for Dahmer Sintasompone, Dane Placco, reporter.
Despite pleas from neighbors that something was wrong, police on the morning of May 27th apparently returned a 14-year-old boy to Dahmer's custody, a boy that is now believed to be one of the victims. In other words, we're told police had their hands on Dahmer 6 weeks before he was ever arrested. Boy who disappeared on Sunday, May 26th. He was last seen on the way to Mitchell Park to meet friends. 18-year-old Nicole Childress was dropping her cousin off at the apartment building directly north of the Oxford Apartments at about 12:45 Monday morning. This is what she says she saw.
We seen this little boy. You could tell he was a boy. He was running. He was nude. He had no type of clothes whatsoever.
You said there was some bleeding?
Yeah, he was bleeding. He was bleeding real bad from his butt.
Childress ran to this payphone at the corner and called 911. But as the phone call was ending, a man she later identified as Jeffrey Dahmer came out of the Oxford building and began to pull the boy back.
In hard news, medium market TV, no Merit Awards were given. And the best of 1991, hard news story, medium market TV, WXOW-TV La Crosse for Derailment. Scott Hackworth and Susan Jones, producers.
And good evening, everyone. I'm Scott Hackworth.
And I'm Susan Jones. As we said, we have extended coverage of that derailment this morning. It could have been an environmental disaster, but instead it's turning out to be a huge cleanup project.
28 cars pulled by a Burlington Northern train derailed at 1 a.m. this morning. Now, one worker on the train suffered minor injuries. The engine, or one of the engines on the train, crashed into the water and into a barge. causing extensive damage. Firefighters, as we said, still trying to put out fires which have lingered throughout much of the day. The train cars loaded with butter and also some tightly packed lumber are causing problems for the fire crews. The accident happened along the Mississippi River, as we said, in Fountain City. Now, Fountain City is about 35 miles to the north of La Crosse on Highway 35. Dave Verhassel begins our team report on cleaning up the mess.
When you see these train cars piled like kindling wood and the tracks twisted like pretzels, it's hard to believe no one was killed or even seriously hurt in the accident.
In our third category, mini documentary or series, Major Market Radio, a Merit Award goes to WTMJ AM Milwaukee for Sexually Harassed. A Merit Award also goes to WHA AM Madison for Migrant Teaching. And the best of 1991, mini documentary or series, Major Market Radio, WTMJ AM Milwaukee for Victims of Rape. Kevin Fisher, reporter.
1 out of 6 women will be sexually assaulted in their lifetime. 1 out of 4 will be assaulted before adulthood. As many as 9 out of 10 sexual assaults are not reported. The number of sexual assaults is increasing. We produced a 5-part series of reports examining the issues surrounding this violent crime. Our series aired the same week that criminal charges were filed in Palm Beach, Florida, against the nephew of Senator Edward Kennedy. A Palm Beach woman claimed that she was raped by Senator Edward Kennedy's nephew. The title of our series, Victims of Rape.
It was August 5th, 1990, at 11 o'clock at night, and the incident lasted exactly half an hour.
As Christina Schatzman returned to her Shorewood home last summer following a band practice, her life would change forever.
And as I was coming out of my garage, there was someone behind me with a gun to my head and a hand around my neck.
In mini documentary or series Media Market Radio, a Merit Award goes to WRIG AM Wausau for Working Mother. A Merit Award also goes to WDUZ AM Green Bay for Pearl Harbor. And the best of 1991, mini documentary or series, Medium Market Radio, WAXX FM Eau Claire for Sweating Out Sentence. Terry Bell, reporter.
Spend a week at Wisconsin's first boot camp prison.
I expected it to be intense, but not to a point where they were riding you 24 hours a day almost.
You had better bust your butt. Yes, sir. You haven't been doing it since you got back. Yes, sir. You haven't been coming close.
Because the program's so intense, we expect people to all of a sudden say, hey, screw it, I quit.
I'm Terry Bell. Starting Monday, Sweating Out a Sentence, a special series of reports all next week right here on WAXX. This year, Wisconsin became the latest prison system in the country to adopt a relatively new experiment in corrections, boot camp prison. Reporter Terry Bell is the first reporter ever allowed to spend several days at the facility and files this report in part 1 of his week-long series, Sweating Out a Sentence. Forward! They're not soldiers marching home from the Persian Gulf. They're inmates in the Challenge Incarceration Program, or CIP, at the St. Croix Correctional Center outside New Richmond.
Mini documentary or series Small Market Radio. A Merit Award goes to WTCH AM Shawano for Term Limitation. And the best of 1991, mini documentary or series Small Market Radio, WLSU FM La Crosse for Single Parenting Program. Gene Purcell, producer, reporter.
It's been about 3 years since the Single Parent Self-Sufficiency Program was started at the University of Wisconsin-La Crosse. During that time, program organizers say they have learned a lot, and 24 of the program's participants have gone on to start college careers. The pilot program was originally designed as a sort of research project to see if there was a way to reach single parents and get them interested in getting a college education. The director of the program is Bets Reedy. She says large-scale problems such as the feminization of poverty led to the development of this particular program. She and others saw a need for single parents, particularly women, to get an education.
an obvious response is, let's get these women into college so that they can make enough money to support themselves and their families.
In mini-documentary or series Major Market TV, a Merit Award goes to WISC TV Madison for Silver Linings. A Merit Award also goes to WTMJ TV Milwaukee for Night and Day. And the Best of 1991, mini-documentary or series Major Market TV, goes to WITI TV Milwaukee for $1 Million Babies. Joyce Garbasiak, reporter, Scott Curdy, photojournalist.
And she's doing much better with her head support. Yes.
Every time she cares for drug-affected babies, like this 10-month-old girl we'll call Melissa, Nurse Mary Kankey is surprised.
You don't know what to think. Yeah.
She's amazed that some pregnant women are unaware of or choose to ignore the effects drinking, smoking, and illegal drugs can have on their babies. We've seen their shaky limbs and heard their piercing cries, and now a different perspective. Words, horror stories of sorts, collected over the years by the doctors and nurses and social workers who deal with these children most every day. In his 9 years as a neonatologist, Dr. Stephen Ragatz has cared for hundreds of newborns, and he's seen the extremes some pregnant women will go to hide their drug use.
There's the case that the labor and delivery nurses can tell you about a mother that had hidden her supply.
In mini-documentary or series Medium Market TV, a Merit Award goes to WEAU TV Eau Claire for After the Storm. The Best of 1991, mini-documentary Medium Market TV, goes to WKBT TV La Crosse for Boot Camp Series. Kathy Millard, reporter, Andrea Sawyer, photographer.
It's 5:40 a.m. For the next 16 hours, these boot camp inmates will be watched, worked, yelled at, educated, and on a rare occasion commended for their actions.
This program is designed to be tough and a commitment to change. If they're up here for that, they'll make the program.
Each day starts with over an hour and a half of intense physical activity.
The actual exercising isn't the point. It's the discipline to make them actually do it, to actually take the orders and do what we're telling them to do, because they've never done that in their lives. You know, they're not used to taking orders, so it's not really, you know, getting muscles or anything. It's not about that at all. It's just to actually have them do it.
It's about 7 o'clock now, but the inmate's day is far from over. From here, they go and perform some type of physical labor in the community, and later, they work their minds in the classroom.
Our fourth category is feature-length documentary. In Major Market Radio, 2 Best of 1991 awards were given. The first award goes to WYMS-FM Milwaukee for Secret Clubhouse, Magic Johnson AIDS, by producers and hosts Gary Nosacek and Peter Zarin, guest and medical expert Brenda McClellan-Tilson, RN.
Hi, kids. I'm Daryl Jacobs, principal at Elm Creative Arts School, and I'm listening to Gary and Uncle Hugo on Secret Clubhouse on WYMS Milwaukee.
This edition of Secret Clubhouse deals with a health issue of concern to the entire community, HIV infection and AIDS. Although Secret Clubhouse is a program designed for children, we urge parents or guardians to listen to tonight's Secret Clubhouse with their children due to the sensitivity of the subject matter.
The second Best of 1991 award for feature-length documentary Major Market Radio goes to WTMJ AM Milwaukee for special assignment, Killing the Killers. Kevin Fisher, reporter.
In the summer of 1990, on a capital punishment bill on December the 12th at the state capitol in Madison. For many, many years, legislators flatly refused to even discuss any such proposal. Here's our documentary, Special Assignment, Killing the Killers. Long before Milwaukee police busted into accused serial killer Jeffrey Dahmer's apartment and made the grisly discovery of body parts, Wisconsinites had sent a loud message about capital punishment. Poll after poll indicated overwhelming support for the Badger State to bring back the death penalty for the first time in over 130 years. Now, with emotions running high over the Jeffrey Dahmer case, there's renewed talk of instituting the death penalty in Wisconsin. This is Kevin Fisher. Coming up, a closer look at capital punishment on Special Assignment, Killing the Killers.
In feature-length documentary Medium Market Radio, no merit awards were given. And the best of 1991 feature-length documentary Medium Market Radio, WEAQ AM Eau Claire, for 1991, An Unforgettable Year. David W. Carlson, writer, reporter, producer.
Good morning. Newsbeat continues now. I'm David W. Carlson, taking a special look back today at the year 1991.
Unforgettable.
Many words could be used to describe the events of the past 12 months, but one stands out: unforgettable. War in the Persian Gulf, the death of the Soviet Union, freedom for our hostages. A magic AIDS announcement, Jeffrey Dahmer's Milwaukee apartment, a den of death, rock-throwing juveniles, and the Uniroyal closing. It was an unforgettable year, all right, one which began with an ultimatum for Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein.
The UN resolutions are clear. He must be out of Kuwait. That means entirely by January 15th. It's very clear to the world that that's what the objective is.
Nearly 500,000 servicemen and women were preparing to force Saddam from Kuwait as the new year dawned.
In feature-length documentary Small Market Radio, no merit awards were given. The best of 1991 feature-length documentary Small Market Radio, WCOW-FM Sparta, for Pearl Harbor reenactment. Steve Peterson, Clary Harris, Eric Jurgensen, John Cass, Dan Henry, and Brian Bronner, contributors.
Sierra Sioux on WCOW. It's 7 minutes past the hour of 4 o'clock. The Japanese have attacked Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, and Manila in the Philippines, the American stronghold there in the Philippines. And we had a chance to finally got through on the phone lines, and Rick Jensen is at the White House. And how are things going over there, Rick?
Well, there's a lot going on here, Clary. Let me just I have a statement to read to you first here, and then we can go on from there. I have some more details. Here's the latest reports we have from sources here at the White House. Japanese airplanes today attacked American defense bases at Hawaii and Manila, and President Roosevelt has ordered the Army and the Navy to carry out undisclosed orders prepared for the defense of the United States. Announcing the President's action for the protection of American territory, Presidential Press Secretary Stephen Early declared that so far as is now known, these attacks were totally without warning, when both nations were still at peace, and were delivered within an hour or so of the time that the Japanese ambassadors had gone to the State Department.
In feature-length documentary Major Market TV, a merit award goes to WTMJ TV Milwaukee for Sunday Night Milwaukee Police. A merit award also goes to WHA TV Madison for Eugene Hasenfu's story. And the best of 1991 feature-length documentary Major Market Television, WITI TV Milwaukee for Marquette Warriors. Mark Concanon producer, Gordon Tronto director, Mickey Leach photojournalist.
The Marquette Warriors won just 11 times last season. They averaged 19 turnovers a game. Each night on the court became less a matter of winning than of survival.
Ride in the storm out. Ride in the storm out. Ride in the storm out. Ride in the storm out.
We're definitely not planning on living through that again.
It was tough for our fans to go through.
I hate to lose.
But this season, there are new faces and new hopes for victory.
I'm more excited than I've ever been about playing college basketball.
I'm ready.
It's a young Marquette team, but one full of potential. Meet the new Warriors, the Comeback Kids.
In feature-length documentary Medium Market TV, a Merit Award goes to WXOW-TV La Crosse for 1991, A Year in Conflict. And the Best of 1991 feature-length documentary Medium Market Television, WDSE-TV Superior for Island of the Yellow-Breasted Woodpecker. Joseph Fraser, producer-reporter, Thomas J. Cornell, director.
Before Europeans discovered the New World, the people known as the Chippewa were completing their journey to a new homeland. The tribe was settling in the region they called Shawamagan. There they found an island which the people named Manawannakuning, the place of the yellow-breasted woodpecker. The island we know today as Madeline became the center of activity for western Lake Superior for the next 350 years. Next on album, we'll look at Madeline Island's history through the lives of its early inhabitants, the Chippewa, fur traders, and missionaries.
In Major Market Radio, a Merit Award goes to WMMM-FM Madison for Vilas Park Zoo. A Merit Award also goes to WTMJ-AM Milwaukee for Welcome Home. And the Best of 1991 feature Major Market Radio goes to WHA-AM Madison for Sheep Dairy. Melanie Summer, reporter, Joy Cardine, editor.
Here's views of lamb. After they've left the jug, they come into a small pen like this for a while. Try and keep them close, so especially because we lamb in the cold weather, the lambs don't get too far from us.
Hal Kohler and his wife Cindy tend a flock of 300 sheep on their Polk County farm. They've been raising sheep for the past 8 years, but only began milking them a couple of years ago.
Kind of got into the dairying by accident. I read an article in the newspaper, and then my wife thought I was nuts. And then she went to a conference. We sent her to a symposium in the Twin Cities, and then she came back and says, "Oh, it sounds like a good idea to me."
Kohler says the main reason they decided to go ahead with the dairy operation was to increase their income. Most sheep farmers make their money by selling lambs for meat and selling wool. Kohler says it seemed logical to them to take advantage of the third option for making money, a sheep dairy. So about a year and a half ago, the Kohlers set up their milking parlor and started milking their sheep.
In the feature category, Medium Market Radio, a Merit Award goes to WAYY-AM Eau Claire for Doctor's Outlook on Life and AIDS. A Merit Award also goes to WEAQ-AM Eau Claire for Valentine's Day Wedding. And the Best of 1991 feature in Medium Market Radio, WFHR-AM Wisconsin Rapids for Stormin' Norman Tent Mate. Carl Hilke, reporter, producer.
When Will Lee of Port Edward sees General Norman Schwarzkopf on TV, he sees more than the commander of U.S. forces in the Persian Gulf. You see, Lee served in Vietnam with then Lieutenant Colonel Schwarzkopf. In fact, Lee, who was a major, shared a tent for 5 months with Schwarzkopf. Lee says he's seen one change in the man they call Stormin' Norman.
I think he's mellowed since I knew him. He was a real tough trooper, get the job done, no nonsense, kick him in the rear. The enemy I'm talking about, the North Vietnamese in the VC that we were up against at that time. And he was, truly a real soldier.
Lee says Schwarzkopf was also well respected by his men. As a result, Lee says he's not surprised his old tent mate is now leading U.S. forces in the Persian Gulf War. I'm Carl Hilke for WFHR News.
In the feature category for small market radio, a Merit Award goes to WRLO-FM Antigo for Desert Storm. A Merit Award also goes to WTOQ-AM Platteville for Dubuque Casino Bell Opening. And the Best of 1991 feature small market radio, WFAW-AM Fort Atkinson for Purdy School Clay Stomp. Tom Pattison, producer, reporter.
2,000 pounds of pliable gray clay is sitting behind Purdy Elementary School this morning. Students, teachers, and volunteers have been busy trampsing through the gooey substance. They're forming a mural which will eventually hang in the main hallway of the Southside Fort Atkinson Elementary School.
All right, let it go through your toes.
The event is the brainchild of Heartland artist Joel Pfeiffer, who earned worldwide attention several years ago for a similar mural which was made at Summerfest in Milwaukee and is now on display in the Russian city of St. Petersburg. How are the kids enjoying jumping barefoot in wet, gooey clay during school time?
Tell me what you're doing in there. Jumping. You having a good time? You guys all having a good time? Yeah!
Pfeiffer uses the theme of togetherness not only locally but worldwide in the message that is being put into the Purdy Elementary 9-foot by 9-foot.
In the feature category for major market television, a Merit Award goes to WISC-TV Madison for Fainting Goats. A Merit Award also goes to WBAY-TV Green Bay for Pre-Vacation Syndrome. A final Merit Award goes to WITI-TV Milwaukee for Body Bowling. And the Best of 1991 feature major market television, WISN-TV Milwaukee for Elvis Lives. Kent Wainscott, reporter, John Lazarevic, photographer.
We started the day looking for clues, anything that might lead us to Elvis. Let's see, Lisa Marie dumps hubby. The Elvis babies. I met Elvis in heaven. Nothing here, so we took to the streets.
Hi, excuse me. We're wondering if you can help us. We're looking for someone. Have you ever seen this person? You know where we might find this guy?
Oh, they said Kalamazoo a couple years ago, didn't they?
We were getting nowhere, so we hit the road. We scoured the countryside until suddenly, near the town of Velders.
Can't be. I wonder what he looks like after all this time. Hi, we're looking for Elvis Presley. That's you? Yeah. You're Elvis, huh?
Yeah. It was no Graceland, but we'd found him. And the first thing I wanted to know was what Elvis had been doing since 1977.
In the feature category, medium market television, a Merit Award goes to WXOW-TV La Crosse for Swimming Scholar. A Merit Award also goes to WKBT-TV La Crosse for Hang Gliders. And the Best of 1991 feature medium market television, WAOW-TV Wausau for Summer Wind. John Gregory, reporter, John Long, photographer, and Mark Oliver, animation.
The name Summerwind invokes thoughts of warm, tranquil days, but the legend surrounding this home on West Bay Lake near Michigan's Upper Peninsula is far from peaceful, and it begins with the Grand Mansion's completion in 1916. Today, only the rock foundation and two huge fireplaces that stand like monolithic tombstones remain. 2 bolts of lightning destroyed the home in 1988, but its ghostly past lives on. Legend has it that the land Summerwind sits on was deeded to English explorer Jonathan Carver by Indians, only to have the deed later stolen away. It's Carver's ghost that's believed to haunt Summerwind.
Our 6th category is effective use of the medium. In major market radio, a merit award goes to WTMJ AM Milwaukee for 911 in action. A merit award also goes to WUWM FM Milwaukee for Sounds of High School Football. And the best of 1991, effective use of the medium, major market radio, WTMJ AM Milwaukee for Great Circus Train, Kevin Fisher, reporter.
Each July, the Great Circus Train winds its way from Baraboo, Wisconsin to northern Illinois and back up to Milwaukee, carrying a precious cargo of circus wagons and animals for the annual Great Circus Parade. It's a slice of Americana, and its flavor is captured in our report entitled The Great Circus Train, 1991.
Please stand behind the yellow line. We can't get the train into the depot area unless everyone's behind the yellow line and clear the track. You people on the street, you can kind of eyeball it since you don't have a yellow line. But please do not get near the track. Don't step onto the track. Stay back across the track.
Isn't this great? The Great Circus Train? Oh, the best. The best. I hope they keep this up for 100 years yet.
In effective use of the medium, medium market radio, the Best of 1991 award goes to WDLB AM Marshfield for a hometown salute. Tom Gerritsen, reporter-producer.
The commercial 747 took off in a heavy snowstorm. Lieutenant Colonel Jim Scales was in charge of the departure, and he interrupted the members' lunches.
There was a lot of ice and snow on this front taxiway area, and it was a lot easier putting the troops on the bus while they were at the dining facility, bringing them over here, and then letting them board right onto the plane. It cuts down on the accident rate and everything else. If we can get them loaded early and we can get the flight plans changed, fine, get them out of here. That way we'd cut down on the amount of icing that plane will take.
Once on board, the 300-plus personnel waited more than an hour for the plane and runway to de-ice. Carla Detmering of Medford was pondering her job as a combat nurse.
For the worst scenario possible, that we get casualties and have to deal with them.
Do you yourself work with paratrooper?
I've been working as a nurse for a year and a half, but on an oncology floor.
In effective use of the medium, small market radio, a merit award goes to WRLO-FM Antigo for July 4th. And a second merit award also goes to WRLO-FM for Rockets. And the best of 1991, effective use of the medium, small market radio, produced 2 winners. First, WLSU-FM La Crosse for Four-Hand Piano, Gene Purcell, producer, writer.
The 11th annual Four-Hand Piano Festival has been going on all week at the UW La Crosse campus. Duettists Dallas Weekly and Nancy Argenbright are members of the faculty of UWL, and they're known around the world for their four-hand playing. They say questions to them about their playing led to the development of the first Four-Hand Festival.
It started 11 years ago as an outgrowth of people coming to us all year long. A couple might come and play, for us, and they would take the whole weekend. And we kept thinking, gee, the things that we say are so repetitious. If we had them all together, we could say it once. It would be a lot of fun for everybody to meet and get to know each other and get to know people who had the same interests.
The second Best of 1991 award for effective use of the medium small market radio, WERL AM Eagle River, for Troop Welcome, John Burton, reporter.
God bless America.
A parade under a clear blue sky welcomed the returning heroes yesterday. 5 Desert Storm personnel were on hand, including Air Force Captain Steve Tate of Wandersmeet, the first to shoot down an Iraqi plane during the Gulf War. Tate said war was a terrible thing, something he hoped the country would never have to go through again. But Tate said worse still was what happened to the Kuwaiti people at the hands of Saddam Hussein. Tate also recognized the support received by the troops.
My hat's off to you. I thank you with all my heart for your support to me and everyone that was over there. We really thank you for all the support that you gave us. Thank you very much.
Also on hand, retired Marine Corps Brigadier General Joseph McCarthy of Phelps, a Congressional Medal of Honor winner. McCarthy summed up the feelings of many of those on hand.
God bless them all, and thank you, Americans, for coming out to show these people how you feel.
In effective use of the medium major market television, a merit award goes to WMVS-TV Milwaukee for Rural Poor, Rural Proud. And the Best of 1991 effective use of the medium major market television, WISN-TV Milwaukee for Picture Day, Kip Christine, photographer-editor.
Beautiful smile, thank you. Okay, guy looking like a cool dude. Strike a pose. Oh, you handsome guy. Look right here, where's that lady killer smile?
Don't just stand there, let's get to it. Strike a pose, there's nothing to it.
In effective use of the medium market television, a merit award goes to WKBT-TV La Crosse for 107th Fort McCoy. And the Best of 1991 effective use of the medium market television, WEAU-TV Eau Claire for Ceramics Supreme, Steve Rechkall, photographer-editor.
I think Western society has been fascinated with Chinese and Japanese pottery simply because it was, it had the tradition behind it. Basically, we're doing the same procedures as they did back, since the beginning of time. As far as making pots, we dig it out of the ground, we produce and make our own glazes. We try to follow the traditions. I think in the traditions that there lies a lot of wisdom through thousands of years of trial and error, thousands of years of making pots. As a potter, I'm not looking to do it the fastest or the easiest. I feel that once you start cutting corners, it tends to show up in your work. And if you're meticulous.
Our next category is editorial. In major market radio, no awards were given. In the editorial category medium market radio, a merit award goes to WSAU AM Wausau for Mayor's Accident. And the best of 1991 editorial medium market radio, WIFC-FM Wausau, for Mattie's Back, written by Al Lippert, presented by David Armstrong, General Manager.
He's back again. Former Wisconsin Tourism Director Richard Matty is back on the state payroll. He will receive $32,500 in a 10-month period, acting as a temporary liaison between the Department of Transportation and local businesses. Matty resigned from his tourism post last year after having been accused of sexual harassment and after arranging a promotional ad for Wisconsin in a Japanese sex magazine. It's amazing that this guy has been such a political embarrassment to the administration of Governor Tommy Thompson, and yet he keeps landing cushy jobs in state government. This is political cronyism, plain and simple, and state taxpayers are footing the bill for it. The governor's old buddy is apparently running low on cash, so the directive went out to find him a job. The fact remains, though, that Richard Matty left state government last year because he was a political embarrassment due to his lack of respect for others.
In the editorial category for small market radio, no awards were given. In editorial major market TV, a merit award goes to WTMJ-TV Milwaukee for Urban Sprawl. And the best of 1991 editorial major market television, WITI-TV Milwaukee for Fuller, written by Jill Geisler, presented by Andy Potus, Vice President, General Manager.
Dr. Robert Peterkin has chosen to leave his position as Milwaukee's Superintendent of Schools. His vision of a greatly improved Milwaukee public school system remains a dream, not a reality. Our children deserve so much better. The Milwaukee School Board is now searching for a new superintendent. It's possible, however, that the leadership Milwaukee schools deserve already resides here in Milwaukee. We believe the board ought to give serious consideration to Dr. Howard Fuller, the current head of Milwaukee County's Health and Human Services Department. Fuller has a background in education, and no one has ever accused him of being reluctant to take on the tough issues. He fought for North Division High School and its neighborhood, even led an effort to develop a district within a district aimed at raising the quality of predominantly black schools. Howard Fuller can make many in the establishment uneasy. He asks the tough questions and criticizes the system. We think that's good. In his current capacity, he sees the price we're paying for ignorance.
In the editorial category for medium market television, there were no entries in this category. In our eighth category, community affairs activity, major market radio, no merit awards were given. And the best of 1991 community affairs activity, major market radio, WJJO-FM Madison, for Saving Tomorrow. Penny Patterson, producer.
Did you realize there are about 12 wolf packs roaming the state of Wisconsin? For Saving Tomorrow, I'm Penny Patterson. This is Timber Wolf Awareness Week. It was just a few years ago the state was down to 13 wolves. Well, now it's up to 40 or 50. DNR officials hope that number increases to near 80, but that's about all Wisconsin can handle. One pack needs about 100 square miles of territory just to survive. Thanks to the Department of Natural Resources for the information. Changing your light bulbs can prevent the emission on pounds and pounds of pollution. For Saving Tomorrow, I'm Penny Patterson. Replacing a 75-watt incandescent bulb with an 18-watt compact fluorescent light saves about 570 kilowatt hours. Well, it takes 500 pounds of coal to generate that kind of energy, which in turn emits about 1,000 pounds of carbon dioxide, 6 pounds of sulfur dioxide, and 4 pounds of nitrogen.
In community affairs activity for medium market radio, a merit award goes to WDUZ-AM Green Bay for 890th Homecoming. And the best of 1991 community affairs activity, medium market radio, WOSH-AM Oshkosh for 1157th Returns Home. By the WOSH News Team, Diane Dashensky, producer.
Beth is on the bus. I'm getting in the WOSH Blazer, and we'll be reporting along the route. It's a very exciting time here as the troops were just processed. They received part of their final check from their service at Desert Storm. And let me tell you, in their sand fatigues, nothing but smiles here at Fort McCoy. Rick McCoy and Beth Hyman from Fort McCoy, soon to be on the road, Highway 21, on the way home with the 1157.
Broadcasting live from Fort McCoy as we welcome the 1157s back to the Valley. I'm talking with Captain Dale Pomeranning of the 1157. Tell me in as many words as you can what the feeling of the whole 1157th is today.
Just excited and enthusiastic. They haven't been home yet, and so they've seen their families, but they haven't been back to the city, so it's been a long time since they've seen anything back there.
Anybody talking about what the first thing is that they're going to do once they get to their respective cities?
I think just rest mostly. They're pretty tired and it's been hectic even though we've been back, and it's just going to be great to see all the people and everybody that we haven't seen in such a long time.
In the category of community affairs activity for small market radio, a merit award goes to WRDB-AM, Reedsburg, for the Beaver Rap. A merit award also goes to WRLO-FM Antigo for the Hardee's Breakfast Club. And the best of 1991 community affairs activity in small market radio, WXPR-FM Rhinelander, for Northwoods Literacy Pro, Ken Kroll, coordinator. In community affairs activity for major market television, a merit award goes to WISC-TV Madison for Time for Kids. A merit award also goes to WTMJ-TV Milwaukee for Survive Alive Project. The best of 1991 community affairs activity, major market television, WITI-TV Milwaukee for Roundup. By the WITI Community Affairs Department, Tom Hooper, reporter.
Sometimes it's the simplest idea that proves to be the best. We think that's the case with TV6's Roundup Project. It's a nickel and dime program that's raised $209,000. That's right, $209,000 for the hungry. Each month, about 30,000 people rely on Milwaukee County food banks for food. In those long lines, the faces of 22,000 children. Demand is up 25% this year.
Hunger in this community persists at really crisis levels.
Donations to the pantries have not gone up at the same pace. WITI wanted to help. It was clear the station would have to come up with a novel approach, a campaign that would require little effort on the part of the giver and little money, just small change. TV6 teamed up with Century Foods for Roundup for the Hungry. When groceries are tallied up and the clerk reads the total, the shopper can simply say, "Round that up, please, to the next dollar or more."
In community affairs activity for medium market television, no merit awards were given. The best of 1991 community affairs activity medium market television, WQOW-TV, Eau Claire, for recycling tips. Jim Zahn's writer, Ron Johnson, producer, director.
If you're taking an active role in the Eau Claire, Chippewa, and Dunn County recycling programs, here's how you can help make recycling easier. Grass clippings, leaves, and pine needles are no longer accepted at most area landfills, so disposing of yard waste through composting makes good sense. Composting can be done rather easily, and when finished, you have an abundance of natural fertilizer for your garden or lawn. For more recycling information, call TV18 at 835-1881. Brought to you by Sacred Heart Hospital, urging you to participate for your better health.
Our next category is public service announcement. In major market radio, no merit awards were given. The best of 1991 public service announcement for major market radio, WOLX-FM Madison, for Salvation Army Caring Tree. Sandy Shockley, producer, Randy Lucas, announcer.
Sharing is caring is the motto of the Salvation Army. You can join Cambridge Court Specialty Shops, Toys R Us, and 94.9 FM WOLX in assisting the needy children of Dane County. Please bring your new or like-new unwrapped toys for boys or girls ages infant to 12 years to Nancy's, of course, a children's apparel shop in Cambridge Court at 7404 Mineral Point Road. Or bring them to the Salvation Army. They're located at 630 East Washington Avenue, and bring them in by Sunday, December 15th. Financial donations will also be gladly accepted. Make Christmas a little brighter for those families less fortunate than yours. Join the Salvation Army, Cambridge Court Specialty Shops, Toys R Us, and 94.9 FM WOLX in sharing and caring. Bring your toy donation to Nancy's, of course, in Cambridge Court by December 15th.
In the category of public service announcement for medium market radio, no merit awards were given. The best of 1991 public service announcement, medium market radio, WIAL-FM Eau Claire, for waste recyclin', Rich Watkins, writer-producer.
A little ditty about waste recycling, soon to be mandatory here in the dairy land. Used to be we just, chuck it all away, but with so much now, there's got to be a better way. Aluminum, cardboard, newspapers, plastic, steel, glass, metal cans. Solid waste manager Janet Pavlini says, I hate to do it to you all. You know I hate to be a meanie. But this landfill's full and we've got no place left to go. Time to separate out all of this stuff you throw. Oh yeah, it's not much fun.
In the public service announcement category for small market radio, there were no entries in this category. In public service announcement, major market television, a merit award goes to WTMJ-TV Milwaukee for Mad Red Ribbons. A merit award also goes to WISC-TV Madison for TFK, Watching TV Wisely. And the best of 1991 public service announcement, major market television, WTMJ-TV Milwaukee for Survive Alive PSAs, Fran Davis, producer.
The flame and the black smoke just immediately filled the room. I yelled at the kids, told them to get outside.
There was so much smoke, we couldn't even get out the front door. It was just unbelievable.
A lot of people think that the smoke would wake them up at night, the smell of it, and it actually works in reverse. It actually puts you into a deeper sleep.
It's very simple. A working smoke detector can make the difference between life and death for your family. It will give your children the chance to survive alive.
In the public service announcement category, medium market television, a merit award goes to WQOW-TV Eau Claire for Boy Scouts, The Video. And the best of 1991 public service announcement for medium market television, WEAU-TV Eau Claire for Don't Start, Tom Erdis, producer, Dave Weaver, director.
Hi, I'm Jessica and I'm here to say, don't start smoking the Chipmunks way.
We are the Chipmunks, yes sirree. We're here to give advice for free. We don't want you to smoke, and this is no joke. It turns your lungs black and makes you sick, and the way smokers cough is ick, ick, ick. Let's work on a world that is smoke-free, which would be nicer for you and me.
Our next category is promotional announcement. In major market radio, a merit award goes to WTDY AM Madison for Gulf War. And the best of 1991 promotional announcement for major market radio, WYMS FM Milwaukee for WYMS Friends Drive. Roger Dobrik, producer.
Hold out your hand.
What for?
I'm just showing you how much you'd have to spend if you wanted to own a jazz library that matches what you can hear on WYMS.
Hey!
Why don't you take your hat off? You can hold some more in there.
I can't carry all of this money. It's too heavy.
Well, don't you like the scope and variety of jazz that WYMS brings you every day?
Yeah, sure, but my back is starting to give out.
Hey, now what are you doing?
I'm tearing down your living room wall to make room for the addition.
What addition?
Well, if you're looking to match the WYMS record library, you'll need to build an addition onto your home. Sign here, please.
What for?
That's your building permit. $200, please.
No, stop.
Where do you want them to put these 2x4s?
I said stop. That's better.
Who are you calling?
475-8989. I don't have the money or the room for a huge library, but I know I can afford a few bucks to keep the great jazz coming.
You mean with hosts like Bill Bruckner, Linda Scott?
In promotional announcement for Medium Market Radio, a Merit Award goes to WAPL FM Appleton for WAPL Rolling Stone cover. A Merit Award also goes to WAXX FM Eau Claire for Wax A to Z. And the Best of 1991 promotional announcement, Medium Market Radio, WRIG AM Wausau for Mike Does Broadway. Mike Cook, producer, writer.
What's a lunch without a cook? It's like a page without a book. There's something missing, but you don't know what. Well, grab the knob, my friend, turn it up and listen in. We'll see if we can crack this little nut. If you listen close, you'll hear two numbers that you can call to make a dedication or request. So have your lunch and make the call. The cook will do his best. I promise. 355-1112, star 1390. 355-1112, star 1390. 355-1112, star 1390. Those are the numbers to call. In addition, we'll have the bad jokes of the day. Good trivia, too. So what do you say? It's the Lunch with a Cook show. I've opened the lines. Pick up the phone. Have some fun while you dine. Well, now you know. Yes, now you know. How the whole thing goes. Welcome to the Lunch with a Cook show.
Weekdays at noon right here on Big Rig.
In the promotional announcement category for Small Market Radio, there were no entries. In the promotional announcement category for Major Market Television, a Merit Award goes to WTMJ-TV Milwaukee for Surrounded by Sex. A Merit Award also goes to WISN-TV Milwaukee for New Image. And the Best of 1991 promotional announcement, Major Market Television, WITI-TV Milwaukee for Good Vibrations. Sam Jones, producer-director, Dave Rogers, art director, Mickey Leach, camera.
Come on, come on. Feel it, feel it. Feel the vibration. Hey guys, talk to each other. Let's go. Come on, let's play.
Tuesday, TV6 takes you courtside. NBA All-Star Bob Lanier teams with TV6's Tom Pippins to bring you Marquette versus Mississippi Valley State. Tuesday at 7:30 here on TV6.
In the promotional announcement category for Medium Market TV, a Merit Award goes to WXOW-TV La Crosse for Lou Who. A Merit Award also goes to WAOW-TV Wausau for Newsline 9 First. And the Best of 1991 promotional announcement, Medium Market Television, WXOW-TV La Crosse for 1991, A Year in Conflict. David Marshall, producer.
Other than that, he's a great military man. I want you to know that.
1991 has been a year full of controversy and conflict. Join News 19 for a special look back at the news stories of 1991.
I challenge you.
Watch 1991, A Year in Conflict, Monday night at 6:30 on TV 19.
Our final category is commercial announcement. In Major Market Radio, no Merit Awards were given. The Best of 1991 commercial announcement, Major Market Radio, goes to WLTQ-FM Milwaukee for Pugsley Pigskin, written, produced, and voiced by Jim Cranston.
through. Hey, move it or lose it, Tubby. Oh, jeez. Oh, you Perry. Oh, I thought I was a pig. Oh, no, not another touchdown. Oh, here comes that stupid dance. Back and forth and spike me. Oh, come on, guys, give me a break. Hey, this is your old pal Pugsley Pigskin. You know, I used to think being a football was a great way to earn a living. Oh, it's great, all right. I get kicked, thrown, fumbled, and jumped on. And nobody told me I'd have Wilson tattooed on my butt for the rest of my life. I should have listened to Mom. I could have been a lazy bones ham.
That's right, sports fans. Now you can watch your pigskin and eat it too. The perfect complement to your Super Bowl party. A delicious Lazy Bones ham from the Ham Store. Lazily baked for 30 hours, delicately smoked with hickory and glazed with rich honey and spices. Low salt with no added water and spiral sliced. The perfect feast for starving football fans. Order your custom prepared Lazy Bones ham from the Ham Store today. The Ham Store, of course, 126th and North, or call 797-9660.
Piglets, remember, don't fall for the glitz and glamour of pro football. Just say...
In commercial announcement medium market radio, a merit award goes to WCLO AM Janesville for Golden. A merit award also goes to WRIG AM Wausau for Sam's Pizza. A merit award also goes to WYCO FM Wausau for Diet Right. And the best of 1991 commercial announcement for medium market radio, WAXX FM Eau Claire for Barn Door, White Fabric Shop, written and produced by Kathy Visti.
Honey, I have to talk to you right now.
Hey, great party, huh, sweetheart?
I'm dying of embarrassment here.
What did you say?
My pants zipper broke.
Speak up, dear. I can't hear you over this noise.
My barn door's open.
Clam dip, anyone?
When it's time to put a zipper in it, zip into Betty White's Fabric Shop in Stensonville. Betty White's has zippers from 4 inches to 110 inches. Zippers for coveralls, coats, jackets, pants, dresses, sleeping bags, tents, and special order zippers. Zip into Betty White's Fabric Shop, Highway 13 South, Stetsonville.
In the commercial announcement category for small market radio, a merit award goes to WGLR FM Lancaster for Banworth and Uddlehoven Furniture Store, Holiday Pilgrim's Duster. And the best of 1991 commercial announcement small market radio, WGLR AM Lancaster for Mega Foods, The Loving Couple Cooks Out. Ted Lyons, producer.
Mega Foods.
Honey, how many burgers do you want?
2, please.
2? You can't have 2. We don't have enough for 2.
Well, I'm going to have 2 burgers, because you're going to Mega Foods to pick up some more ground chuck. It's only $1.48 a pound in the family pack with the coupon from the Reminder.
Yes.
And while you're there, pick up some Heinz ketchup. It's 99 cents in the 28-ounce bottle with the Reminder coupon. You hear me? The 28-ounce bottle.
Yes.
And get some IGA hamburger buns, too. They're just 39 cents in the 8-pack.
Yes, dear.
So what are you doing just standing there? Put down that flipper. Get to Mega Foods now. I'm getting hungry.
Yes, sweetie.
They're on Highway 61 North in Lancaster. You hear me?
Yes, Snooky Yookums. Where's the Reminder?
In the commercial announcement category for major market television, a merit award goes to WLUK-TV Green Bay for Zoll Stone Fireplace. And the best of 1991 commercial announcement, major market television, WITI-TV Milwaukee for Grocery Grab. Jim Marchetti, producer-director, Dave Rogers, art director.
Watch WITI and win when you enter to play the great TV6 Grocery Grab. Every night when you watch your friends on the TV6 News at 6, 6 lucky viewers will be eligible to win $100 worth of groceries and have the chance to win a grand prize 6-minute grocery grab at Sentry. For details, see your Sentry Food circular or the TV6 Grocery Grab display at any Sentry Food store. It pays to play, so watch and win the great TV6 Grocery Grab.
In the commercial announcement category, medium market TV, a merit award goes to WQOW-TV Eau Claire for introducing. A merit award also goes to WXOW-TV La Crosse for exploding sports. And the best of 1991 commercial announcement, medium market television, WEAU-TV Eau Claire for Eau Claire Athletic Club. Greg Stieg, writer-producer, Rob Friesen, videographer, editor.
Make a commitment to a healthy lifestyle. Come on, join the club, the Eau Claire Athletic Club.
Thank you for joining us for the 1991 Excellence in Broadcasting Awards. Once again, we would like to thank the Miller Brewing Company for making this afternoon's program possible. And we look forward to seeing you again next year. In closing, let us offer a special salute to all who shared their excellence in broadcasting. And from your peers, congratulations to all those 1991 Excellence in Broadcasting Award winners.